What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Noah Hiles here from the Post-Gazette. It's Wednesday, so we got an early mailbag this week. We've got other things running on Thursday. My report card, my monthly report card, which I will do at the end of each month, runs on Thursday because it's May 1st. You can keep an eye out for that. Check out that both in the print edition and online. And there's also an afternoon game Thursday. So because we have a hectic content schedule Thursday, we're moving this week's mailbag up a day. So it will be running today, being Wednesday. So Wednesday mailbag, a lot to get into. Pirates enter this day having lost their last three. Suffered a 9-0 shutout loss to the Cubs to start the first game of a 6-game homestand. A lot to get into, so let's just start it off now. Decker wants to know, when will Bubba Chandler be brought up? This is a huge storyline surrounding the team right now, with the team itself not performing well. I think a lot of the storylines are going to shift to individual performance, and there are a few individuals with a more interesting storyline right now than Bubba Chandler, the number one prospect in the Pirates organization, number 14 in all of baseball per MLB Pipeline. He's dominating AAA. So when will he be brought up, Decker? I don't have the exact date for you, but I have a pretty strong feeling it's going to be sometime this month. Just looking at the track that he's on, it looks like kind of building him up similar to Paul Skenes and how he was built up last year. If you look at Paul's minor league development last season, he made 7 starts. The pitch count continued to build. As we got to the back end of April, that's when you started seeing Paul go past the 4th inning, getting his 5th up, completing 5 innings, pitching sometimes into the 6th inning. And that's also when you saw the pitch count start to elevate past the 50s and into the 60s and 70s. Paul's highest pitch count in his 7 minor league starts last year was 75. The furthest he went in a game was 6 innings. So Bubba Chandler is right along that timeline. Right now, Bubba has made 5 starts. The longest he's gone in a game is 5 innings. The highest pitch count he's had is 70. Paul made exactly 7 starts. Bubba Chandler, if he follows his timeline, will make his 7th minor league start the exact day that Paul Skenes made his final minor league start last year, which was May 5th. So this isn't to say that they're on the exact track. Maybe they want to see Chandler make 8 starts. I'm sure they're probably looking to see a little bit more from him, as you know, he's a different player. But the team has acknowledged that this is a similar strategy to what they're taking with Skenes. They're building volume here. He didn't have a huge workload this spring, and if you look at his first starts, yeah, it looked like they're kind of taking it easy with him. And the reason behind that is they know once this guy gets up here, he's likely going to be up here for the long haul, and they would like for him to log the majority of his innings pitched this year, which will probably be in a number of around 160, similar to what Skenes threw last year. They want the bulk of that 160 to take place in the major leagues. I think right now Chandler's only thrown 20 and a third in the minors. I would venture to say that number probably doesn't get higher than 35. I think that they would like him to throw at least 120 innings in the major leagues this year. So I could be wrong. I mean, they might end up just saving him until June for Super 2 status or whatever. But I from the indications that I'm getting here, based off of conversations that I've had and just reading the tea leaves, it looks like this guy's 2-3 starts away from being at least built up volume wise to being ready for the major leagues. And if that's the only box he needs to check, then that means he's coming up. If there are other things they need to see from him, then maybe it's going to take a little bit more time. I'm not sure exactly what they could be looking to see from him right now. He's not Paul Skenes 2024 minor league dominant, but he's not far behind if you look at the numbers. I mean, he's just blowing guys away. He's clearly big league ready, and I think once he's stretched out to throw 6 innings consistently, we're going to see him up here. I think it's only, I think we see him sometime in May. I wouldn't expect to see him this homestand, but I wouldn't be shocked if the next time they're in town, maybe Bubba Chandler's with them. That's not official report. Just trying to give you my 2 cents on it based off of, things I've heard and just analysis on how his progression is going, I think he's coming up sometime this month. And if I'm wrong, don't be mad at me. Chris asks, was the time to extend Oneil Cruz this past offseason? Didn't seem like there was any spare money to spend, so guessing it wasn't going to happen regardless. Is it too late to do so now? And do you think they'll make an attempt? If he keeps playing the way he's hit the ball this first month of the season, then yeah, it's probably too late. I haven't heard much as far as an attempt to extend Cruz, especially this past offseason. I didn't hear much, or if there was an attempt, it didn't very far much. And after the way he's played this year, if he keeps at this pace, at least offensively, he's going to be an incredibly valuable baseball player, and he's about to hit arbitration. At this point, I don't know if it would make sense for him to sign an extension, because you could buy out those ARB years, but he's getting close to free agency, and the reality is they're probably not going to let him hit free agency. The player with his talent and this size of a market, it's not just a Pirates thing, it's just a baseball thing. You probably trade an asset like that before he hits free agency. So how many more years in Pittsburgh does this guy really have? I would say at least a couple, but I don't think he's looking to add on to that total right now. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. If you're a talented player, if you're him, or if you're Paul Skenes, what has the organization done that would make you want to stick around for longer than you have to be here? That's not to say, there's one way to get past that, and that's paying them a lot of money. But do we have any precedent to go off of that they would pay someone of that talent level what they're worth? I don't think so. You could point to the Reynolds extension or Hege or Keller. I think that Cruz and Skenes are a talent level above all of those guys. And that's no disrespect to the three players I just mentioned. It's just, I think that if you've watched this team play, we could all agree Cruz and Skenes have a higher ceiling than anyone else in this organization, at least right now. And with where they're at, both of them in their career, I don't think it makes sense for them to sign anything, because they could probably just out. It's the Cruz, who's not far from arbitration, not far from free agency. I think they missed the boat there with Cruz. Skenes, they theoretically still could. He's got multiple seasons before he hits ARB. But I've said it before, I've said it again, I think Paul Skenes was out of this team's price range from the moment he stepped on a big league mound. So I don't see any happening. I haven't heard a ton on either front. It's obviously something I'll start paying more attention to with Cruz playing super well. But yeah, this past offseason would have been the time to do it, simply because, he flashed a little bit of promise last year, but it didn't look like what we're seeing right now, where this guy is on pace to be a 30-30 player, if not better. So Nathan wants to know, as of right now, who are the Pirates AllStar selections? I think they're the guys that I just talked about. I think Paul Skenes is the lock. Performance-wise, I think it'll be a lock regardless. But even if, in addition to performance, he's one of the faces of the game. This isn't necessarily a familiar concept to Pirates fans, I guess, but when you're a top 4 or 5 marketed player in your sport, you're going to get on the All-Star team regardless, unless you're having an absolutely terrible year, to which he's not. I think this is the type of pitcher that they don't just want in the All-Star game. They want Paul Skenes starting in the All-Star game as many times as possible right now, because he's the most marketed pitcher in the game. So yeah, I think it's safe to assume that Paul Skenes will be an All-Star, both off of his ability and just his branding. The game wants him on that platform. I think Oneil Cruz is well in contention to receive that type of recognition as well. It's funny that you look at a guy who's got like a 150 OPS plus, a guy who's in top 10 in home runs, a guy who's either first or second in the league in stolen bases, and he's not even one player right now, how bad he's been defensively. Oh, I mean, if he continues to play the game he's been playing offensively, yeah, he's going to be one of the best offensive players in baseball this season if he maintains this pace. So I think those two would be ones that I would highlight. Outside chances, I mean, Dennis Santana, I think, is having a really good year. But, those reliever spots, they either go to teams who are doing really well or teams that are doing very, very, very bad, playing very poorly, and they just pick the best reliever as their lone representative. So I don't know if Pirates are going to be a team that gets 3 All-Star nods. But yeah, Santana is a guy that I think has had an All-Star worthy first month. And so is, I guess, Andrew Heaney as well. But I would expect both of those guys to kind of get overlooked regardless of how well they're playing, unless they're playing like undeniably well. So move on now. Gold Glove Horowitz asks, through the first couple of weeks of the season, how would you assess Matt Hague? It's tough. I mean, it's hard to evaluate instructional coaching 30 games into a season. It just is. I mean, because right now, yeah, the offense looks bad, but the guys who are performing poorly have really performed poorly last year, right? So is that a reflection on the new coach staff, or is that just a reflection on the individual's talent level? Like maybe these guys just aren't good enough to play at this level. That's kind of my takeaway right now. I mean, I wouldn't say he's done anything that I've noticed that like made someone super better right now. I mean, I think their biggest success story offensively is Valdez, but I think that that's more on the research and development team noticing value in that player and acquiring him and bringing him in. They saw those traits, and Valdez just needed an opportunity. I don't know if they changed anything specifically with him. I know he's told me he's underwent swing changes, but those were things he started in the offseason, some of them before he even knew he was a Pirate. So I don't know if that's their biggest success story, their biggest win. I mean, they had a lot of into this year. Guys like Jack Suwinski, guys like Henry Davis, Johan. We could keep going down the list. And so far, I mean, none of those projects look to be doing well at all. I guess Ke'Bryan Hayes is having a better offensive season. He's, knock on wood, stayed on the field. But are those changes Matt Hague's coaching? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, he kind of talked about the adjustment that he made himself this offseason with the two-handed finish. That's led to, I think, a better contact and just a better overall discipline in the strike zone. But we'll have to keep watching. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and trash Matt Hague after 30 games. I mean, yeah, the offense hasn't looked good, but I mean, did we expect it to look good regardless of who the hitting coach was? I mean, yeah, I think it's a lot of the guys have performed at, a normal level of expectation. Like I didn't expect Adam Frazier to be much better offensively than what he's been. Same can be said for Tommy Pham. I mean, Oneil Cruz has continued to develop, so I guess maybe that's something we could point to. But yeah, I mean, Reynolds is not great at the plate right now, but he'll heat up, I'm sure. Just going around the diamond. Yeah, like IKF's a veteran. I don't know how much impact they've had on him or Kutch or Joey Bart. And I don't notice like anything different trend wise for the team. Kind of looks very similar to last year at this point in time, honestly. So yeah, it's hard to judge Matt Hague right now. I think my measuring stick for him and his hitting group will be how the younger, less proven guys develop as hitters. I'm not really concerned about what they can do for guys like Oneil Cruz, Andrew McCutchen, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Brian Reynolds, Ke'Bryan Hayes. All of those guys, they've shown that they can hit at this level. I want to see what they can do for Henry Davis, Andy Rodriguez. I mean, if Matt Gorski ever gets a honest chance here, just other younger players who are coming up and getting their first opportunities, that's where I want to see their coaching, because the last guy here couldn't figure it out for them. They couldn't put a plan together to get them to where they needed to be. So can Matt Hague do this, or are these guys just simply not cut for it? What we'll be looking for as the season moves on. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our show's presenting sponsor, Greenewalt Roofing. When we come back, I've got 3 more questions.
Hey, Pittsburgh. When you think of great roofs, you think Greenewalt Roofing Company. With over 20 years experience, Greenewalt knows your roof is your home's first line of defense from rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Greenewalt Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust that their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Greenewalt Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenewaltroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 to schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262.
All right. Big thanks to Greenewalt Roofing. We get back to the questions now. Johan wants to know if you could add one player from another National League Central team to the Pirates roster, who would it be and why? I like this question. I think Elly De La Cruz would be my pick. Just having him and Oneil Cruz hit back-to-back, that would be fun to watch. 2 electrifying talents, just athletic freaks. Obviously, both of them have a little bit of rawness to their game. I guess they're both a little unpolished, but the potential for both is through the roof. So I think that's where my mind immediately goes, and that allows you to use IKF as like a super utility guy, which I think he is best at. So you get your everyday shortstop, and then you basically have Oneil Cruz in 2 different places. So that would be fun to watch. He's probably been my favorite player to watch in these NL Central games. Trying to think who else. I mean, pitching, you could go with like Hunter Green, you could go with Imanaga. But I mean, the pitching staff I think is fine. If they had to add another hitter, I think Kyle Tucker could be another guy that I think would look really good. He's coming at a much higher price tag, and he's a little older. Where Elly, there's a little bit more longer of a runway there. There's a long-term future. But I mean, Kyle Tucker being in the corner field for this team would help a lot. I mean, he would check a lot of boxes. He would make the defense better. Obviously, he'd look really good in that number 4 spot in the batting order, or number 3, wherever you really want to hit him. But those would be my 2 picks. I'd still probably go Elly, just because as a person who tells stories and watches his team every day, he would be more fun to watch, I think, every day. So Elly De La Cruz would be my pick there. Craig wants to know, would it be fair to label Tommy Pham as this year's Rowdy Tellez? That's interesting. I actually think Tommy Pham is more comparable to Michael A. Taylor right now, simply because, I mean, he's in defensive runs saved for outfielders. I believe he leads Major League Baseball, or all left fielders in Major League Baseball, with defensive runs saved. At least he did prior to yesterday's game. I haven't checked the update on that metric this morning. But defensively, he's been one of the best left fielders in the sport. But he hasn't really contributed much offensively. Does that sound familiar? Sounds just like Michael A. Taylor last year. Now, what's ironic is, I mean, Taylor, the first couple weeks of last season, was killing the ball in the first couple of weeks. I think actually like the first 10 days. And then he off and never really got going again. Pham's delivered in moments, I will say. I mean, I feel like he's probably had some of the better clutch at bats for this team this season, as far as, his approach in the 8th inning and beyond. But yeah, he hasn't delivered offensively. He would even agree with that. And I think that's kind of what this question's getting at, is they recognize Rowdy as another player that they signed in a position of need. And they probably could have spent more at that position to get better production. Instead, they went like a cheaper route here, what they did with Pham. And yeah, they're kind of getting what they paid for right now. I mean, Tommy Pham, like I said, and that's why I would compare him more to Michael A. Taylor, just because he's their best defensive outfielder right now, and he's not hitting the baseball. So, and he's in the lineup like every day. So that's the comparison I would make. Still different types of players. I mean, Michael A. Taylor, I think, is one of the best outfield defenders year by year in the sport, where Tommy Pham wasn't, at least as far as the metrics say, wasn't that great of a defender. season. He's having a good year in left field this year, though. So I think that's probably the better comparison. And I mean, for the offensive sake of things, the Pirates should hope he's like this year's Rowdy Tellez, because Rowdy Tellez ended up swinging a hot bat in June and July, and that's when the Pirates kind of found their footing as a team, when they got that extra offensive boost from him at the plate. They can get that from Tommy Pham, that'd be a good thing. Final question of the show comes from Drew. I really like this one too. Over under 9.5 starts from Jared Jones this season. Still no exact timeline as to when Jones will be back. I know he's going to be evaluated soon to see if he could start throwing. I think that's where we are on the timeline here. But that throwing program is going to take some time. So I don't think we'll see Jones. I think the earliest we see him, and this is just going off of the timelines provided by the medical updates, I think based off of the normal process that it takes when someone's shut down for how long he's been shut down. It's like 6-7 weeks, I think. The buildup would probably take him till at least July. So we're looking at best case scenario, maybe the whole second half of the season for Jared Jones, maybe post AllStar break, somewhere around that time, maybe August if he needs a little bit more time. So you still get 2 full months of him if there are no setbacks and whatnot. Do I think he'll start every time is also another question. I'm curious to see. I mean, I think that, yeah, they're not looking to change his role long term. Depending on how the season goes, you might be better off not even using Jared Jones as a starter. If the year gets out of hand, or maybe you start him, but you cap him hard at like 4 innings every time, just because if they're in last place in July and he comes back mid-July, I mean, are you really trying to burn through Jared Jones's arm for games that really don't mean much? I think you would maybe put together a plan that can get him a solid body of work, get him feeling right, and get him up to 100% heading into the offseason. So I'll probably take the under in starts. I think he will pitch a solid amount in the second half. I just don't know what that role looks like. And I mean, and on the other side of things, I mean, if the rotation's humming and everyone's healthy, and you get Jared Jones back and he has a limited work volume, maybe he's better off out of the bullpen in a leverage role. That could be fun to watch. But 10 starts, I think the line at 9.5 is really good. I would probably take the under at like 9, though, just to be conservative with the guess. I think Jared would love for it to be over 9.5. I think it will be somewhere between like 8 and 12, maybe 8 and 11 starts on the year. I'll take the under, though. I think it'll be like in the 9-ish range. So again, thank you all for tuning in. My name is Noah Hiles. You can read all of my work at Post-Gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already. We cover not only the Pirates, but all the other sports teams in this town, professional, college, and high school. And we also write about the news, too. A lot going on. Busy weather day yesterday. We had you covered there. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you don't already at PG Pirates. We will have you covered for the remainder of the season and beyond. Pirates back for Game 2 of a 6-game homestand against the Cubs. Myself and Colin Beasley will be there. Keep following along.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.